When the sun rises each morning, bringing with it the promises of a new day, many hearts seek protection and shelter to face the uncertainties that may arise. Among all the prayers and psalms of the Bible, Psalm 91 stands out as one of the most powerful declarations of faith and trust in divine protection. Known as the Psalm of Protection, this biblical passage has been recited by millions of people throughout the centuries, offering comfort, hope, and the certainty that we do not walk alone. Psalm 91 is not just a religious text. It is a spiritual refuge where we find words that strengthen our faith and renew our confidence in divine care. Each verse is a promise, each line a guarantee that those who trust in the Most High will always be protected under His wings. This sacred text has a special quality when recited in the early hours of the morning. It is as if, by beginning the day with these powerful words, we were putting on spiritual armor that will accompany us throughout all the hours that follow. The morning prayer of Psalm 91 establishes a tone of confidence and protection that resonates in every activity, in every challenge, and in every moment of joy that the day may bring. The sacred text, Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look, and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place, no evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high because he has known my name. He shall call upon me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. The depth of divine promises. Each verse of Psalm 91 carries within it a specific and powerful promise. When we carefully analyze these words, we discover layers of meaning that apply to different aspects of our daily lives. The secret place of the Most High. The psalm begins with one of the most beautiful metaphors in biblical literature: He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High. This expression invites us to imagine a secret, intimate, and safe place where we find refuge from life's storms. It is not just a physical location, but a spiritual state of closeness with the divine. To dwell in the secret place of the Most High means to cultivate a constant and deep relationship with God. It is to live in a state of communion that transcends external circumstances. When we begin our day recognizing that we are inhabitants of this sacred place, we establish our identity not in the uncertainties of the world, but in the unshakable security of divine love. The image of the shadow of the Almighty is also deeply significant. In arid and desert lands, shade represents life, rest, and protection from scorching heat. Thus, to rest in the shadow of the Almighty means to find refreshment and peace even in the most difficult moments of our journey. Refuge and fortress. The declaration, He is my refuge and my fortress, establishes a solid foundation of trust. A refuge is a place where we run when we are in danger. A fortress is a construction that protects us from external attacks. These metaphors show us that God is simultaneously our shelter in moments of vulnerability and our defense in times of battle. When we recite these words in the morning, we are declaring that regardless of what the day may bring, whether professional challenges, family problems, health issues, or financial concerns, we have a safe place where we can always return. This certainty transforms our perspective on problems, for we know that we face nothing alone. Protection against dangers. Psalm 91 specifically lists several types of dangers from which we will be protected: the snare of the fowler, the perilous pestilence, the terror by night, the arrow that flies by day, the pestilence that walks in darkness, and the destruction that lays waste at noonday. These expressions, although they may seem ancient, are surprisingly relevant for our times. The snare of the fowler represents life's subtle traps, temptations, deceptions, situations that appear attractive but are dangerous. The perilous pestilence can symbolize diseases, addictions, or negative influences that spread insidiously. The terror by night refers to fears that haunt us in darkness, anxieties, worries that grow when we are alone with our thoughts. The arrow that flies by day represents direct and evident attacks, criticisms, persecutions, problems we face openly. Angelic protection. One of the most comforting promises of Psalm 91 is the guarantee of angelic protection. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. This is not a vague or symbolic promise, but a specific declaration that there are celestial beings assigned for our protection. The image of angels bearing us up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone, suggests meticulous and constant care. It is not just about protection against great catastrophes, but care that extends to the small details of our daily walk. The morning prayer, establishing protection. Reciting Psalm 91 in the early hours of the morning is a powerful spiritual practice that sets the tone for the entire day. Morning is a special time. It is when our mind is clearest, our spirit most receptive, and our heart most open to receive divine promises. The ritual of daily protection. Upon waking, before even checking messages or thinking about the day's tasks, many faithful make Psalm 91 their first declaration of faith. This simple but profound ritual creates a spiritual atmosphere that permeates all subsequent activities. The recommended practice is to find a moment of silence and tranquility. It can be still in bed, on your knees beside the bed, or in a special place of prayer. The important thing is to create a sacred moment where the words of the psalm can be pronounced with faith and intention. Some people like to read the psalm aloud, allowing the words to resonate in the environment. Others prefer to recite it mentally, letting each verse penetrate deeply into their hearts. There is no right or wrong way. What matters is the sincerity of faith with which the words are spoken. Visualizing protection. During the morning recitation of Psalm 91, it is helpful to visualize the images that the text presents. Imagine yourself truly dwelling in the secret place of the Most High, feeling the security and peace of this sacred place. Visualize divine wings extended over you, offering protection and comfort. This practice of visualization is not just an exercise of imagination, but a way to strengthen faith and make the promises of the psalm more tangible in our daily experience. When we visualize divine protection, we are training our mind to recognize and trust this protection throughout the day. The declaration of faith. Each verse of Psalm 91 is, in fact, a declaration of faith. When we say, "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust," we are making a conscious choice to trust. We are not just repeating ancient words, we are making a personal and contemporary declaration of our faith. This morning declaration establishes a solid spiritual foundation for the day. It is as if we were building a foundation of trust upon which all the day's experiences will be built. When challenges arise, our first reaction is not panic or worry, but the remembrance that we have already declared our trust in divine protection. The transformative power of faith. Psalm 91 does not work as a magic formula that automatically removes all problems from life. Instead, it transforms our perspective on challenges and our ability to face them with faith and courage. Change of perspective. When we begin the day with the promises of Psalm 91, our perspective on challenges changes dramatically. Instead of seeing problems as insurmountable threats, we begin to see them as opportunities to witness God's protective power in our lives. This change of perspective does not mean denying the reality of challenges or minimizing their importance. It means, rather, approaching these situations with confidence founded on faith, knowing that we are not facing anything alone. Courage to face the unknown. One of the greatest sources of anxiety in our lives is the fear of the unknown. We don't know what the day will bring, what challenges will arise, or how we will manage to deal with unforeseen situations. Psalm 91 offers a powerful answer to these anxieties. When we declare in the morning that no evil shall befall us, we are not denying that difficulties may arise. We are affirming our confidence that, whatever the situation, it cannot separate us from divine love and protection. This confidence gives us courage to leave our comfort zones, to face new challenges, and to live with boldness and determination. Inner peace. One of the most immediate fruits of the morning prayer of Psalm 91 is the inner peace it provides. In a world characterized by anxiety, stress, and constant uncertainty, this peace is an invaluable gift. The peace that comes from Psalm 91 is not the absence of problems, but the presence of a deep confidence that we are safe in God's hands. It is a peace that surpasses all understanding, for it does not depend on external circumstances, but on the spiritual reality of our divine protection. Testimonies of protection. Throughout the centuries, countless people have testified about the protective power of Psalm 91 in their lives. These testimonies are not coincidences, but evidence of the active power of divine promises in the lives of those who trust. Protection in moments of danger. Many report experiences of inexplicable physical protection in moments of great danger. Soldiers on battlefields, travelers in dangerous situations, people who faced accidents or threats, all have stories of how faithful recitation of Psalm 91 seemed to create a barrier of protection around them. These testimonies do not suggest that faith makes people invulnerable to all dangers, but indicate that there is a spiritual dimension of protection that operates in the lives of those who trust in divine promises. Emotional and spiritual protection. Beyond physical protection, many testify about the emotional and spiritual protection they experience through the daily practice of Psalm 91. In moments of depression, anxiety, fear, or despair, the words of the psalm have served as a spiritual anchor, offering hope and stability. This emotional protection is especially important in our times, when mental and emotional pressures are intense. Psalm 91 offers not just words of comfort, but specific promises that we are not alone in our internal struggles. Protection in relationships. Some faithful report how the practice of Psalm 91 has brought protection and harmony to their family and professional relationships. When we begin the day declaring that we dwell in the secret place of the Most High, this inner peace is reflected in our interaction with others. Divine protection does not manifest only against external dangers, but also enables us to respond to interpersonal situations with wisdom, patience, and love, avoiding unnecessary conflicts and building healthier relationships. The science of faith, psychological aspects. Although Psalm 91 is primarily a text of faith, it is interesting to observe how its effects align with modern psychology discoveries about the power of mind over physical and emotional well-being. The power of positive affirmation. Psychology recognizes the power of positive affirmations in forming our self-perception and influencing our behavior. Psalm 91 functions as a series of powerful positive affirmations that reprogram our mind for confidence and peace. When we repeatedly recite that we are protected, that we dwell in safety, that we need not fear, our subconscious mind begins to accept these truths. This is reflected in our body posture, our tone of voice, our decisions, and our ability to deal with stress. Stress reduction. The morning practice of prayer and meditation, including the recitation of Psalm 91, has proven effects in reducing cortisol levels, stress hormone, in the body. When we begin the day in a state of peace and confidence, we establish a neurological pattern that helps us maintain calm even in the face of challenging situations. Strengthening the immune system. Scientific studies demonstrate that positive emotional states, including faith and hope, have beneficial effects on the immune system. The inner peace and confidence generated by the practice of Psalm 91 can, therefore, contribute to our physical health beyond spiritual benefits. Improvement in sleep quality. Many people who practice the morning prayer of Psalm 91 report improvement in sleep quality. This can be explained by the fact that when we begin the day with peace and confidence, we tend to end the day with less accumulated anxiety, facilitating more restorative rest. Practical applications in modern life. Psalm 91 is not just an ancient text to be admired, but a practical tool for modern life. Its promises and principles can be applied to a wide variety of contemporary situations. In the work environment. The modern professional world presents many of the dangers mentioned in Psalm 91, although in different forms. The arrows that fly by day can be unfair criticism, unfair competition, or excessive pressure. The snares of the fowler can be offers that seem attractive but are ethically questionable. When we begin our professional day with the confidence established by Psalm 91, we are empowered to navigate these situations with wisdom and integrity. The certainty that we are protected gives us courage to make the right choices, even when they are difficult. In family life. The family is the context where many of life's most intense battles are fought. Marital conflicts, challenges in raising children, financial pressures, health problems, all these situations can be faced with greater confidence when grounded in the faith expressed in Psalm 91. The family practice of reciting Psalm 91 in the morning can create an atmosphere of protection and peace that benefits all family members. Children who grow up hearing these promises develop a solid foundation of emotional and spiritual security. In travel and risk situations. One of the most practical applications of Psalm 91 is during travel or situations involving physical risks. Many travelers make sure to recite the psalm before boarding planes, starting long road trips, or venturing into unknown places. This practice does not replace necessary practical precautions, but adds a spiritual dimension of protection that can make a difference in critical moments. In times of global crisis, events such as pandemics, economic crises, social conflicts, or natural disasters can generate collective anxiety. In these moments, Psalm 91 offers a spiritual anchor that helps us maintain perspective and hope. The promise that 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you should not be interpreted as a guarantee of physical immunity, but as an assurance that our identity and spiritual security remain intact even amid external chaos. Integrating Psalm 91 into daily routine. For the power of Psalm 91 to be fully experienced, it is important to integrate it consistently into our daily routine. Here are some practical suggestions. Creating a sacred space. Establish a specific place in your home for morning prayer. It can be a corner of the bedroom, a special chair in the living room, or even an outdoor space. The important thing is to create a mental association between this place and the moment of communion with God. Establishing a fixed schedule. Consistency is fundamental for developing any spiritual habit. Choose a specific time for reciting Psalm 91 and maintain it daily. Many prefer the first minutes after waking, while the mind is still calm and receptive. Combining with other spiritual practices. Psalm 91 can be combined with other spiritual practices such as meditation, additional biblical reading, intercessory prayer, or worship. This combination enriches the spiritual experience and deepens the impact of the Psalm's promises. Memorizing the text. Although not mandatory, memorizing Psalm 91 allows for a deeper and more intimate experience with the text. When the words are stored in the heart, they can be accessed at any time during the day, offering instant comfort and strength. Teaching children. Transmitting Psalm 91 to the next generations is an invaluable gift. Children who grow up familiar with these promises develop a solid foundation of faith that will accompany them throughout life. Overcoming common obstacles. Like any spiritual practice, the morning prayer of Psalm 91 can face obstacles. Recognizing and overcoming these difficulties is essential for maintaining consistency. Lack of time. "I don't have time" is probably the most common excuse for avoiding spiritual practices. However, reciting Psalm 91 takes only a few minutes. Even on rushed mornings, this small investment of time generates enormous returns in peace and confidence throughout the day. Doubts about effectiveness. Some people question whether reciting an ancient text can really have an impact on modern life. It is important to remember that the effectiveness of Psalm 91 does not depend on our complete understanding of how it works, but on our willingness to trust in the promises it contains. Inconsistency. Maintaining any habit requires discipline. When we miss a few days of practice, it is easy to give up completely. The key is to see each day as a new opportunity, without guilt or discouragement for past failures. Lack of immediate results. Some people expect dramatic and immediate results from praying Psalm 91. It is important to understand that benefits often accumulate gradually, transforming our perspective and life experience in subtle but profound ways. Psalm 91 in different traditions. Although originally a text from the Judeo-Christian tradition, the truths of Psalm 91 resonate with people from different spiritual backgrounds. Its promises of protection and divine refuge touch universal human needs. In the Catholic tradition. In the Catholic Church, Psalm 91 is frequently used in protection prayers and is included in many Marian devotions. Mary is seen as the one who shelters us under her wings, echoing the protective language of the psalm. In the Protestant tradition. Protestant churches especially emphasize the dimension of personal faith expressed in Psalm 91. The declaration, "I will say of the Lord, He is my God," resonates with the Protestant emphasis on personal relationship with God. In other spiritual traditions, even people who do not identify with specific religious traditions find in Psalm 91 a source of inspiration and strength. Its poetic images and promises of protection touch something deep in human experience. Conclusion. Living under divine protection. Psalm 91 is more than a religious text. It is an invitation to live a life grounded in absolute trust in divine love and protection. When we make the morning recitation of this psalm a consistent practice, we are not just repeating ancient words, but declaring our faith in eternal promises that are renewed with each dawn. The promises of Psalm 91 do not guarantee a life without challenges, but assure us that we will never face these challenges alone. They invite us to live with courage, peace, and confidence, knowing that we dwell in the secret place of the Most High and rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Each morning is a new opportunity to renew our faith in these powerful promises. When we begin the day declaring that God is our refuge, our fortress, and our trust, we establish a spiritual foundation that sustains us regardless of what the day may bring. The morning prayer of Psalm 91 is, therefore, much more than a religious ritual. It is an act of faith that transforms our perspective, strengthens our spirit, and connects us with the divine protective power that operates in our lives. It is a gift we can give ourselves each dawn, an inexhaustible source of peace, protection, and hope. May each person who embraces the practice of this powerful morning prayer personally experience the reality of the promises contained in Psalm 91. May they know, in an intimate and transformative way, what it means to dwell in the secret place of the Most High and rest in the shadow of the Almighty. The invitation is extended. Begin today, on the next morning that dawns in your life, to recite with faith and confidence these ancestral words that continue to offer protection, refuge, and hope to hearts that trust in them. Let Psalm 91 be not just a prayer you make, but a spiritual reality in which you live, move, and have your being.